Good evening. I say evening, but it really is pretty late. So, good late night. My name is Daniel Young. I'm the owner and founder of Adaptive Perspective and the Adaptive Perspective channel here on YouTube, where I help you make your dreams a reality. Our stock market strategy is just one method, one strategy of how we're working towards accomplishing our dreams. If you want the full 12 steps, if you want the full methodology, then head over to Facebook and check out my group there called Navigating Your Finances or Navigate Your Finances, where I really do. I give you the whole thing for free. So, reminders, this is an unedited video. Who knows what you'll hear in the background as I film these in my house. Hopefully, not much because it is pretty late. I am not a financial advisor. I am a financial strategist, and I don't speak like the herd. I don't speak like all the talk show circle junkies. I walk in limited company. Sometimes I walk alone. Our self-managed closed-end fund is, or a self-managed closed-end fund portfolio is built on lasting dividends, not the gradual sell-off of owned funds. And that means the day-to-day, week-to-week pricing fluctuations don't bother me very much. And that's very different from most market advisors and most investors because the rise and fall value of your portfolio is what you're taught that you have to slowly withdraw. So I've gone over the complete strategy on the last several videos. So the short version is this: we're playing the long game. We don't use the investment talk show circle junkie advice, at least not at face value. The 60/40 method on stocks to bonds, that concept is dead. And the 4% method of, you know, withdrawing 4% of your 1 million a year just to have the market gain another 4% back is a pipe dream. It's really a 12% to 20% off sell off every year. And I get into that on the last couple videos. So if the old guard's strategy is dead, then what's the alternative? So that's where we've deployed or employed a no withdrawal strategy that's designed to reap dividends instead of slow cash outs, to where our principal remains intact and we're just getting a much higher, much better, more consistent dividend based upon the principal. Now, the goal is to grow that principal, but we're collecting dividends with the intent to not sell. So, how do we do that? We use the closed-end fund system. So, as Warren Buffett says, so Warren Buffett's advice is you want to buy stocks for 66 cents instead of a dollar. And what he's talking about is closed-end funds. That's the only place in the stock market you can use that strategy where you can buy funds on a discount. So how? Well, we created a filtration system. So we never pay premium. We demand a discount and we demand historic discounts. So we use historical data to filter out the discounts. We target crazy discounts, meaning we're targeting 9% plus discounts. And that's a lot better than the 0.5% that Apple is offering. Um, Currently, it's greed cycle, or that's at least what CNN's Fear and Greed Index says. So in greed cycle, you you have to demand a discount, and that we always do. But if you take a Rothschild's advice, it's when there's blood in the streets, you buy, and you're buying even if it's your own blood. So when that cycle shifts back to fear or extreme fear, when all those green investors and newbie investors are pulling money out of the market, that's the time to buy. So let's look at the market at large. The Fed has stalled rates, and I've seen predictions just like you have, for anywhere between 3 and 6 rate cuts this year. I don't think it's going to be six, but I think the first cut happens around April to May, right before summer, which would really spark another housing frenzy. And it would make the Fed look really good leading into the election cycle. The green investors, the 60-40 people, are waiting for the Fed to cut rates, and not just like waiting patiently, but like the amped up, jumping up and down prize fighter waiting in the ranks. Um, if it happens again, I don't think it happens till April. And despite what the Fed has done, despite these talk show people, we're still headed for a recession. The Fed printed a shitload of money in a short amount of time and then had the gall to say, we don't understand supply and demand, meaning we printed all this money. We had no idea that it would devalue the currency. The people tasked with shepherding the value of our currency told everybody that they had no idea that if they printed at $4 trillion in a short amount of time, that it would devalue the dollar. Think about that. So those people created the problem, and those are the same people who have been tasked with solving the problem. So you end up with a cyclical problem. And because of that, we're going to hit recession. Now, when it hits is key. If the circle gurus are accurate or are to be trusted, they're predicting that we have no recession at all, and it's all hype, and we don't trust that. The contrarian outlook group is predicting a recession that leads into, so like later this year, leads into 2025, and that makes a little more sense to me. And based on that data, you have three alternatives. So if Biden remains the puppet, recession will be as bad or worse than what Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan Chase predicts. If Trump regains office, the Fed will still have some explaining to do, but the economic outlook for the country improves drastically. And the third is what that gray area portends. It's uh, at this point, it's not going to be somebody other than Trump or Biden, but pick your winner. Um, that's not a good noise at all. That's not a good noise. um, the third is that outlier scenario where the Fed kind of goes off kilter, where they say that we're not going to have a recession and they start printing money again, which they've already started printing money again. So, with all of that in mind, where would I park money? Like, with all that in mind, the next 30 years, we look ahead, where would I put money? Uh, you look at bonds, energy infrastructure, and then almost everything else. So, bonds were the standout at the top, and they still are, so long as you can get a great deal. But honestly, nothing changes there because we always demand a discount. The slight tone change comes after Bloomberg, the talk show circle, finally touted the bond carnival market, where it's just kind of like finally, after 6 to 9 months, y'all are finally talking about doing something, finally encouraging people to buy bonds. And after a week of talk shows and, riding the circle, bond prices are continuing to go up. Now they're just going up a little faster. Uh, so if you can still snag bonds at a stellar discount, it's always worth a pick, or at least always worth a consideration. Uh, you look at energy infrastructure, so that's oil, utilities, energy transfer, even solar to a degree. Now, I am not the guy who will tell you that solar does great in every market. I'm a firm believer that solar does not belong in a city. I mean, if you've got solar panels on your house, unless those are channeled into a power wall or like a battery bank inside your house, that power is going back to the power company. You're just a little satellite power generator for them. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, rural solar is a thing. You can power an off-grid homestead with solar. Uh, that has a purpose, but mandating solar, that's not me. Um, and then in order for those solar panels to be made and work, you have to have oil. So the harvesting of oil, processing of oil, moving oil around, and how that impacts our utilities and the development of these other technologies, it gotta happen. And then of what else makes the list, it's really almost everything else except outright consumer stuff. I think the consumer market as a whole is way too volatile. And I think the tech market as a whole is overpriced. I think components of tech like data management, communication systems, I think that is pretty viable. But tech as a whole is overpriced. So using that knowledge, let's look into the best discounts for the week. Move the screen out of the way. So this is our closed-end fund master. It's all 422 current closed-end funds. Everything in a purple, green, or this light blue color gets updated weekly. Everything otherwise gets updated monthly. So they're currently in alphabetical order. I scale things based on targets. So this triple asterisk is a buy alert. So the current discount is double, at least double the historical discount, and the 5-year discount is greater, and the current discount is greater than the 5-year discount. Um, so this net asset value is the actual value or cost worth of the company. That's what it's currently selling for. You get to buy them on discount. Just because it's a low number doesn't mean it's a lesser number than a high number. Um, they're all marked, or at least what we're tracking for the most part is marked. Um, what we're looking for is double the historical discount and then a current discount that is greater than the 5-year discount. And when that happens, so we scale these, and I'll go back, we end up with this list. So you end up with significant discounts compared to everything else that's not significantly discounted. But what this order means, like, why wouldn't these make my target list? They pay annually. I, I buy monthly, we buy quarterly, semi-annual and annual isn't going to make the list. Oops. So copy this, head over to the spreadsheet I already prepared. Current is what we already own. So all of these funds have significant historical value. Well, then how do we trim the list down even further? We're targeting 9% plus yield. The exception are these municipal bonds, which pay based, excuse me, I left it long, which pay based on tax bracket. So not 9, but based on tax bracket, tax equivalent yield, same thing there. That being said, they don't make my final list. So we're not going to buy something we don't already have, except for one thing. So if we look at all of these things and what they're sectioned off to do by you. So the focus is monthly. Focus monthly, these are consumer heavy. We're not buying HQ for this. Yeah, HQ again, just not for us. HFRO is a wonderful fund who cut dividend, but they will come back. Business development company, but pays on and off quarterly cycle, mostly technology, oil, utility, energy transfer, but pays quarterly. So that leaves us with these four. The NC Brothers, I mean, there's an NCA, but the NC Brothers, their net asset value hasn't really changed over the last month. Now, it's not really a bad thing, but it's also not growing. Um, these have changed a little bit, but I haven't. I just started tracking that group about 3 weeks ago. But really, based on discount alone, so my goal has been to get everything up to 200. Um, that's the current money we have to work with, which we would add to it to a degree. But if I'm buying things in sets of 50, that's the best option, right? Because 50 here is more than we have. And these I'm not sold on because this net asset value has been either level or decreasing a little bit. So it's really just these two. I can't buy this one because we don't have the funding for it. That would lead me to believe that would lead me to invest here. Now, it's not the time to just back up the truck and buy everything. It's in greed cycle, you can still find stellar discounts. I mean, case in point. But y'all know the market. Like we swing from one thing to the next. So if you have to buy something, I would buy one of these two. If you can wait and see and kind of wait for that needle to shift off of greed and hit neutral and down, then that's just a much better time to buy. I don't like feeling pressure to buy something. I mean, there's the inbuilt pressure of like, hey, we should really buy something. But at the same time, um, when it's when you feel like you have to invest, you're more easily swayed by any number of influences. But in trying not to be influenced by all those things, it's if we absolutely had to buy something on Monday, or I guess today's Monday, on Tuesday, then it would be the Highland Global Fund. But otherwise, we would wait. Um, I mean, otherwise we would wait. The T fund, it's interesting to me just based on how it's set up and the narrative behind the company because I am, and there's a place for solar. It's just not generally in the city. Um, and we already own three different oil, natural gas, energy transfer, energy infrastructure funds. So finding another way to invest inside that marketscape, that's pretty interesting. So if I had to buy one of these two, we would buy HGLB because we can afford, we have the money, we can buy 50 shares. And I don't like buying less than 50 shares at a time. Just don't. So if we're not buying HGLB, then we're gonna wait and collect the rest of the money for this month and then reassess. And I'm sorry that I keep yawning, but I waited to do this video, so it's all my fault anyway. But really, those are the picks. It's either HGLB if we absolutely had to, and um, if we waited, we'll see what it is long term. Both of these have, I mean, they just lowered their dividend. They're currently raising their dividends. Both are future rising dividends and not where the current dividend does not reflect where they used to be. Um, so they are historically significant on discount. They are greater than 9% there. They are in a position to regrow their dividends and their payouts. So a win-win for both funds. And I can't stop yawning because I'm exhausted after the weekend. So those are my picks for the week. If you like the content, maybe you don't like me yawning on camera, but if you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the like button, head over to Facebook, and join my group there called Navigate Your Finances. So remember, you're the captain of your ship. I'm here to advise and teach and recommend, but I'm not going to be doing your investing for you. So captain your ship, pilot your ship where it needs to go. You have the power to change your life and your financial future. Nobody else will do it for you. Nobody. Your job is to learn and process and make your decision. Okay. And in doing that, many people are going to offer to help you, but only you can make the choice to do things. Not all those people have your best interest at heart. And this hoped for dream you have, whatever, why ever you're investing, financial freedom, it's a fun game, it's strategy, whatever it is. Okay. Your end goal of having more money or of building a portfolio to retire, whatever it is, your end goal will not happen on its own. You can put everything into place, you can have everything ready to go. But if you do not take an active approach, if you do not take an active hand in your investment strategy and in your investments, none of it's going to happen. You must make it happen. So make it happen. Um, yeah, make it happen. Shock your world. Shock your inner group of friends at whatever you're doing so that one of them turns around and goes, "Hey, what is up? Tell me what you're doing. Help me figure this out." And on your end, help your friend out. Show them whatever they want to see. Show them your financials, show them your income, show them your profits, show them your loss, whatever it is. Help them out and help them build strategies so then they can lead and be an active participant in their life and their financial future. So, do you help somebody else, teach somebody else, set them free, and let them go? Be there if they need help, but let them do it. So, that's all I got. And I'm feeling the effect of being awake. So, that's all I got. I'm going to leave it there and not continue to beat a dead horse. So, I wish you a great evening or day whenever you see this. And this is Daniel Young signing out. I will see y'all on another video. Bye bye.